In February 2024, I traveled from Florida to California to visit the acclaimed Baker Street West, home to Sherlock Holmes and the Baker Street Players, to interview proprietors Linda Hine and Beth Bernard, who were forced to relocate their nonprofit venue after their rent was doubled. Many people came forward that day to share their love and support. And here's why.
It's a theme park. It's a fundraiser. It's such a worthy project.
Once you're a Baker Street player, you're in it for life. When you come here, you never forget it.
Everybody's there for each other.
I like this place.
And they have presented everything so real.
This place is just absolutely wonderful.
For people that love the Victorian, that love Sherlock Holmes. Proud to be a part of it, and I'll go with them wherever they go.
Baker Street West is an amazing place.
I think it's an amazing thing for Jackson.
Special things cannot experience anywhere else.
Help in any way possible.
Because it's fun.
When I found Baker Street West, it was like walking into one of those storybooks when I was a kid. And it just opened up all those synapses in my brain of love of learning and love of history. And this is such a special place because you not only walk onto the pages of the Sherlock Holmes novels that I grew up with, you get to experience the themes as you walk through the different shops, get to interact with the characters.
It's this fantastic, immersive environment with multiple secret passageways and books, libraries, and ephemera and collectibles and remarkable art direction, and it's exquisite.
For the moment, you can transport yourself back in time and be a part of whatever Mr. Holmes or Charles Dickens or whatever aspect we're doing, and you can immerse yourself into that time and place.
This place actually kind of filled a hole in me that I didn't know existed, because I played Holmes for many years with the Living History people, and was a big fan throughout the 80s and 90s and beyond. But when I walked in here, I said, holy cow, this is like home, you know? This is home for Holmes, if you will.
I think I just like the whole atmosphere of being on stage and like getting to put whatever is going on in my real world aside and just become someone else for a little while. And just, you know, it's really fun. And with like doing shows and stuff, you make an amazing like second family with your cast. It's just overall extremely enjoyable and just an escape from reality for me.
The kids are all held responsible backstage for their own entrances and cues, their costume changes. So they're all back there helping each other. So, I mean, we had a group of little girls that were just precious together. They all were exchanging phone numbers, but they all worked together. And so that connection is so powerful. And what they learned on stage, how to work together, to think on their feet, to communicate, to
cooperate.
To be in the moment. That was one of the big things, was to get them to stay in the moment, to be aware of everything around them and to be a team.
I like talking with the English accent. And I like wearing costumes.
For the various entertainment of Baker Street West, there have been a multitude of plays. Everything from A Christmas Carol, where I was able to play Bob Cratchit, through many incarnations of Sherlock Holmes. Quite some humorous ones.
The stories of Sherlock that have lasted through the decade after decade, it keeps going and living on. And I think this community being a part of that is such a worthwhile thing to introduce it to young people and let them know what this is all about.
The passion of everybody involved, and I mean everyone, the actors, the lighting, the production team, Beth and Linda, they both really care. And I think that shows in the environment that they've created.
It doesn't matter what, whoever you are, because no one judges you of who you are, because theater's for everybody. Age, old, young, in the middle, can join theater, and everybody's there for each other.
One of the powers it has is that Sherlock Holmes is always relevant, no matter what age you are, no matter where you're from. Everybody knows that name. It has that familiar essence of Sherlock Holmes, but also a uniqueness in and of itself.
You want to walk through the streets of London, this is the place to do it.
New place is just gonna be bigger, and there's gonna I don't really know what it's gonna be like, but there's gonna be more space, and I think that's good.
Seeing what this place has been and imagining how much better it could be in the new location, starting from another blank slate, but with everything they've already established, everything they've already built, and everything that they know now.
This place is just absolutely wonderful. I'm just really glad to be able to do something to help preserve it and save it and get it moved. The only thing has been put on me to Santa now to guarantee them an elevator. So I might need a little extra help.
After securing another location, the old courthouse in Jackson, California, the daunting task of moving began. And not once did these spirited women lose heart. In fact, they welcomed filmmakers Donna Wilberg and Tim Walton to film one last time at Baker Street West, even as they were dismantling the premises. We've heard the heartfelt testimonies and how Baker Street West has made an indelible mark on the community with their willingness to help others. From afternoon teas, live radio performances, plays and films, the kind folks at Baker Street have welcomed people from all walks of life with open arms. Imagine, if you will, the possibilities awaiting Baker Street West. Let's go now to the old courthouse in Jackson, California, and take a tour with proprietor Linda Hine and share the vision.
We plan to have a dedicated dining room here, Simpsons on the Strand, which is mentioned in at least 2 stories, I believe, maybe more, where Watson and Holmes would go for something to eat. This will be our China room. When we do afternoon teas, we like to select from a wide variety of china. This will be the new Mrs. Hudson's tea shop over here. And yeah, it has a ways to go to get cleaned up. But I don't think once we get started, it will take us too long. Where all the foxes reside will be the Wolf and Bear Pub, which has enjoyed many events there. And also we'll have Abber's Emporium over here selling women's clothing, accessories, and hats. We'll have the Deerstalker over on Natball, which will be men's clothing, accessories, and hats. This is where we plan to put in 221B. And then we'll have 2 bed chambers this time. The board of directors wanted Baker Street West to stay in Jackson because we love Jackson and we wanted it to stay where it began. And we kept fantasizing about it being in this vacant old courthouse. Then we found out in the fall that it was bought from the owners before by a young couple who live in Jackson, and we found each other. This is where we've chosen to have Watson's Apothecary, which is our one shop that we don't do retail in, but it's more of a museum piece. Here is where we plan to store the men's wardrobe for the actors. And here is the office, which has a great view once we get the windows cleaned up. We're walking now into the old courtroom, but we would have a dedicated theater here with a stage that is static, whereas at Baker Street West, where we're leaving, we would have to put up the stage, take down the stage, put up the stage, take down the stage every time we had an event or a performance. And we want to keep with our secret passageways, which if you'd ever been to a production, you may or may not know that we had a series of 5 secret passageways where the actors could go in one shop and come out another shop. And we will have the sound and light technician above the doorway. We can have 2 events going on at the same time if we want, actually. This is also wonderful in the summer. We do Summer with Sherlock for kids from 8 to 18. And Beth Barnard, our artistic director, she runs that program, and we get a grant from the Beacon Society. And after they study theater through the eyes of Mr. Holmes, they do a production at the end of the session. And it's just magical what these kids do. What we need is support in many ways. And of course, one of the first things that comes to mind is financial support, because we have so many issues that we have to address at this new venue. But we also need support by people spreading the word about Baker Street West and letting their friends and their family know what we do, what we plan to do, that we need more cast, more crew, more volunteers. We are a nonprofit organization, and we find so many talented people who are willing to give up their time and to donate both with time and financially and work with us.
You've heard it for yourself. The proprietors and board members of Baker Street West have a plan, but they can't do it alone. If you'd like to help Baker Street West with their resurrection in any way, go to their website, bakerstreetwest.com, and show your support. Thanks for watching.